Welcome to TTBoy TV. Today we have an actor who I spent many years on sets with, right?
Yeah.
We worked together many times.
Yeah.
Right? We fucked many of the same girls.
Right.
And he became very popular and well known. I was there when he first started. But please welcome the notorious Mr. Marcus.
What up? All right, there we go.
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
Thanks for coming.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I got you. There you go.
It's been a little while. We didn't see too much of each other through the last 12 years, 10 to 12 years probably. Once or twice, right?
Right.
Yeah,
It's been a minute.
Time flies, right?
What is it? 26 years. 26
You
years.
started in 94.
Yeah.
I remember the first set that I saw you on, which is probably one of your first sets. It was in a boxing gym. We did a gangbang in a boxing ring
Right.
with some girl.
Tiffany Million.
Tiffany Million, I thought it was. All right.
Yeah. That was like my first exposure to the set, the porn, like the big porn set, the big deal. It was the big deal.
That was the first one or one of them?
One of them. Because I was doing like small little scenes for people, like just one-on-one. So that was like the first gangbang. That was the first one where like there was about 4 or 5 known male porn stars there hanging out. So it was a big deal for me because it was like I was immediately put into it. Literally into the ring with you. You were the first, it was supposed to be boxing. So I was just gonna, be your sparring partner, man. And you just start wailing away. I'm like, dude, calm down, man.
Oh, that's just me. No.
That's just you. I found out later, that's just you. But I was like, man, looking at the director, like, man, we acting, right?
Oh, but you hit the pads, right?
Yeah. But that was the first time that was the first day I met you. And it's been like that ever since.
I just have good power, so it seemed like it's, too much. But
well, you stay in shape and you stay, you're trained.
Yeah, I'm tuned up always.
Yeah.
Especially back then,
Right.
I was ready. Anyways, yeah, that was interesting scene. Was that for Bowen? Who was that for? John T. Bowen?
Yeah, it could have been.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember Tiffany and, us being in the ring. I don't remember really with the scene.
Yeah. You remember any of the other actors?
Mm-mm.
Well, just
just you.
I'm the only memorable person there. Must have been a bunch of B-class guys then.
Well, who knows, man?
Maybe, right?
Could have been a whole bunch of brothers.
That was a long time ago. How many movies do you think you've done by now?
I mean, I think I've shot 1,800 like that are known. Then I shot like about 100 on my own.
Yeah? So maybe 1,900?
Yeah.
And that was 94 to what year?
I haven't performed since 2000, I want to say 13.
2013? Yeah.
So 7 years ago.
Porn is, yeah. Porn, for me, I love porn.
Yeah. No, I do. I mean, I like it. I go to it, and it's weird because I think it's just, Twitter just gives me enough of it where I'm cool. I can go in and see like a 1 minute clip and I can fill in the blanks after that.
Oh, I mean, I'm not into it now, right? Not after all those years.
Right.
I'm out.
I still got a real freaky mind, but it's not on video no more.
Why did you get into porn?
I got into porn because I don't know, man. I always get asked this question. And I think leading up to discovery of porn, I was sexual. I had sexual energy. I was attracting sexual energy from people. So I was like, at a young age, humping. I was humping the girls. Humping the girls.
All right, so then, so let's talk about that since young age, right? I mean, that's what I like to understand, the people who love the girls, who become good porn stars, what is their psychology before they come in the business? Are they extraordinary sex beasts, you know what I mean? Or they just got that sexual energy. Who are they? So when was the first time you had sex? Or no, better yet, when was the first time you looked at a girl, right? Any age, right? And you said, you sniffed her, smelled her, or looked at her hair, her face, her skin, and ass, whatever, and said, oh, you know what I mean? I like her.
5. Yeah. 5. Clear as day.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was the girl? Do you remember?
A good friend's sister.
Really?
Yeah. And it just, but we were, I was 5 years old, so we didn't know. I just knew that I liked that feeling.
You liked the girl?
Yeah, I liked the girl.
How old was she?
I think she was 7.
7? Mm-hmm. She liked you? Or,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, just smile.
I had that, right. I had that whatever it was at 5. And it just expanded from there.
I still remember one of the girls I liked a lot in first grade. Right? It was 6 or 7, whatever.
Right.
Billy, she was a Filipino girl, brown. I was like, she looked so nice. Yeah. Billy, come home and jack off to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clear as day, I remember seeing her walk on the same street as me to school, and be like,
you were already. I had a girl. What was her name? Irene.
Yeah.
I had an Irene. I followed. I walked to Irene's house. I walked her home, and then I came back like later that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like,
"Really? I'm doing it." You're like, you ever see I swear, man, I used to be like sitting there.
Right.
And I don't know why in those days, to me, it seemed like the girls had fatter pussies or something. I really don't understand, because when they would wear the pants, you see the camel toe.
Oh, right.
And then you see the bikinis, right? When a girl's wearing a bikini and I see a camel toe, I'll be like, ugh, like fucked up in the head. You ever get that way?
Yeah, well, 2 things. I had a teacher. Well, first of all, I think women would love to express themselves outwardly, sexually, but I think it attracts things that they don't want to deal with. So camel toes and the pants and the underwears that created them kind of went away. You
think so? Or did it possibly, this is a crazy, idea.
Right.
Did the pussy stop getting as fat?
See, I don't...
Fuck! Wouldn't that be horrible for me?
Right. And I think the pussy's always going to be fat, man.
No, but some are fat and some are flat.
Some are, yeah. Well, I was good. So I had a teacher. This is around the same time I had a crush on Irene. And I think I was in, like, elementary, right before junior high school. And she used to always wear these tight pants, man. It just went all up in her pussy.
And you can see the slit?
Oh, I could see this fat lips. And she'd just be standing, and coming up to your table, and you're just like, the pussy's like in your face. Like,
she did it on purpose.
I don't know. I mean, I had a lot of love for her. She ended up like, kind of sponsoring a group of us and bringing us to her house and then cooking us a dinner at the end of the.
Whoa,
I know.
really?
I know.
She's our kind of girl. Thanks, Teach.
Love it.
So she never came on you?
Nah, but she completed the fantasy by showing the love. You feel me?
But how old was that? What grade was that?
I think I was 10, maybe 10.
5th grade.
Yeah.
Probably. So
10 or 11, yeah.
Could you understand what I'm saying about the fat camel toes? Did you appreciate? Not everybody appreciates it. People appreciate different things. Me and Jake used to hang out, and he only wanted an ass this big. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd see that fat camel toe, it'd be like kryptonite.
Right.
Did it hit you, or what attracted you?
I'm a equal opportunity pussy appreciator.
Okay.
I mean, I like. I'll tell you one thing that always gets me is when a girl bends over and arches her ass. That pussy is different on everybody. Everybody. It can pop out. It can slip in. You can see lips. It can drop down. I like a little. It could be meaty. It could be like a little, like a target. A little bit?
Huh? Like it hanging a little bit, like the lips hanging.
Some girls, I'm telling you, man. Some girls are curved with the hips and the way the lips pop out from that, sexy. You know what I mean? It's gonna grip your dick when you pull it out. It's got that little grip. It's gonna slide out, which is always nice to see.
I've seen the triple grip before. Have you ever seen a triple grip?
Triple grip.
Yeah.
I've seen a triple grip.
Because I've seen the girls have, I pay attention. I fuck a lot of girls.
Right.
So I look, even when I shot, sometimes I would be paying attention, right?
Right.
And sometimes it'd be, the outer lips, the fat lips, right? Then there's the middle lips, right? That could be, like you're saying, the hanging lips or something that can grab onto you. Right. But I've also seen, rarely, an inner...
the inner peak.
An inner thing, lip grab, so like 3 lips... grab it, hanging all the way on the way in and out.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
You're like doing it, you want to see it, put it back in, see it again.
Yeah, but it's like...
Right, I got you.
It's rare. It's not,
No, you're right.
Normally, there's one layer of pussy that you get.
Yeah. No, I've seen that pink inner lip just kind of grip it, just kind of pull, kind of tug with it. And I don't know how girls feel about it, but I know it feels great to me.
Yeah. we like the triple layers. Whatever girl's got that out there,
the triple
you're worth
X.
more than $1 million. But,
triple X.
So yeah, the teacher. I didn't have any teachers like that, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But my father had some secretaries like that, pulling up their pants, and I was like, right. Inside, the office. Right. But so when was the first time you fucked a girl? How old?
First time I actually had sex, penetration. I think I was about 11.
Sure. Mm. So you did stuff before that, the way you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, humping, arousing, rubbing, like getting a hard on a girl, and she's just, rubbing on it. But without sex, you know what I mean? Uh-huh. There wasn't penetration. I think I've had girls kind of lick around my head, give me head.
How old was the youngest? How old were you?
I think I was around, by 11, 12. Yeah.
Same time?
Yeah, around the same time.
It was time.
Yeah. I think that and then I really didn't get, I don't know, my sex life has been all over the place, but.
So just tell me about the first time, real quick.
Yeah.
How did it go? And was it great,
Yeah, no, it was,
Who was the girl? But we don't know her, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'll tell you my first girl. I was 12. Her name was Jackie.
Right.
She was a black girl.
Right. And you were from?
She tapped out after 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where y'all at?
In her house.
Oh. Okay.
It's a weird story because the babysitter. It's about you, but I guess we can. Ask me. I'll ask questions. I'll answer questions. The babysitter. I used to stay at the babysitter's house for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. Week, 2, 3 weeks, whatever, right? And so she was a cool babysitter. She had like adopted kids or those type of kids.
How old is she?
She was. I was young. You know what I mean? So she was. This is when I was probably 10. Right. And so I'm guessing she was 35, 40, maybe. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then one day we went out to an area of her friend's house that had horses, and we lived on a ranch with her. Okay. In canyon country, kind of weird, right? In the middle of the dirt, right? But we went to a spot. She drank a couple beers, and she was been on horses her whole life, ranch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then the horse she was on at her friend's house spooked, kicked her off. Right. She landed on her head and died.
Oh wow!
It's like a freaky accident, right?
Wow. How long ago was this?
Well, I was 10, so 40-some years ago.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so then, I had known this girl, Jackie, and her 2 sisters that were crazy. They were white girls, but they were fucking unreal. And the one girl used to lift her leg up and do exercises in the morning. She's probably like 15, I'm probably like 10, right? And I would see in her nightgown, her hairy pussy, right, doing this. I'm like, right, because it was on the couch, right? Stayed on the couch, right? Right. Anyways. Right. So then a year or 2 years later, somehow we got in touch, me and Jackie. She said, come on over, right? I was like, all right. And boom, it was on.
You were, how old were you? You were
12.
You were.
Right. She said, come over. And the husband, or he was there, he was cool. And
what?
No, he didn't say fuck her, but they had left, or or he didn't pay attention, or in the middle of the night, I was hanging out with her. That's it. We were friends, right? Nobody knows what's going on. Just hanging out in the room, and boom, it was on. It was beautiful. But talk about yours.
Crazy thing was, we had left school, went to her house. Her mom wasn't there, and Price is Right was playing. I remember Price is Right was playing. Me and her, we had planned it. We had spent like a few days talking about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was.
What'd she look like?
She was Spanish, Latin. Just. It's funny because I can see her clear now. That the fucking just like that, I could see her clear. Yeah. She was just a real pretty, fair features, but her hair was just kind of feathered out and just dropped along her face. And she was dope. Elaine, Spanish.
I love those feathered hairs back in the day, right? That was because you're close to my age, same time.
Right.
Yeah, I love those.
Dude, she was just, it was like, I couldn't believe it. It was like perfect. We got to her house and it was just us, and Price is Right was on. I love the Price is Right. And I was like, I was sitting there, man, we're doing it on the bed. It was just good. Damn, I'm having flashbacks, dude.
Yeah, that's good.
It was really good.
The pussy was wet?
It was wet. And it was just nice because it was like, I feel like I was like 11 years old, so I was like thinking I was a man because we had the house to ourselves and we were acting like we were adults. You know what I mean? We're doing an adult thing. We're having sex. So I feel grown. Real shit.
And so how long did you fuck her for?
I was there until it was time to go back to school. So I got there about 10 in the morning, 9 to 10, and I stayed there till about 2, almost 3.
So you put it down?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, I wanted her to know that I liked her.
Wow, that's serious at that age, right?
Right. You know how it goes. You just want to impress.
Wow.
You want to impress the best.
I just want to fuck the girl, right? And she tapped out. She sent me to her girlfriend's house the next morning.
Well,
I was chasing around the house.
Yeah, you're a different dude than I was, so.
But that's 4 hours. That's for your first time. 11. That's amazing.
I don't know, but I didn't keep track of the time. I was just enjoying.
Wow, but.
I was enjoying that I was having sex with a girl that I really was like into. Yeah.
Oh, sounds beautiful, really.
Yeah, no, it's dope. It's good.
I can see the feather hair, tan, brown skin, right? And soft skin, right? Yeah.
Elaine, that's her name, Elaine.
And Jackie, what's up? You know what I mean? She was so wet, I licked it for a little while. You know what I mean? It was great.
I like wet pussy.
Yeah. We know that wet pussies are the best. It's almost like exactly pretty much the same. If you have a wet pussy, it's probably the same thing as a guy having a hard on, right? If you have a soft dick and the girl has a dry pussy, that's the same.
Right.
So, kind of the same, but I'm still fucking dry pussy.
You be spitting like a motherfucker. You be sitting here pouring water all over.
I get some food, you know what I mean? You, so the first time, right? We were talking about the first time. So after the first time, did you keep going out with Elaine?
No, we didn't. Cause she was Mexican, I was black, so it was on some.
Really?
Yeah, it's way different now. Here you are in 2020. Now that's a common thing. Then this is in early 80s. Nah.
You liked her?
I liked her.
She liked you?
But you're a kid. You're a kid in school. You're trying to fit in and be cool and shit. And this is a whole different era, man. This is like the early 80s.
Yeah. You know, right, the girls didn't really put out, really, but they wanted to because everybody likes sex. But for me, it seemed like it was more authentic, right? Like they really liked you, then they liked you, right? They want to love you,
right?
Right?
Right. I mean, when you talking about what the off, like not professional or
non-professional, just the girls in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get the feeling today that it's not as organic and pretty. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm a different dude than I was when I first started making porn. The way I looked at women, you know, the way I look at them now. So having a good girl, like a girl who's, you know, physically and mentally and spiritually connected You know what I mean? And sexually.
Hard to find all those.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, to find it and know that the work only makes it better. You got me? Because you can get in a relationship with somebody and you try to put in the work and just don't get no better. You know what I mean? It just keeps going the opposite way. So
yeah, I know. I've been up, I've been down,
right.
all around.
Right.
So you felt the way you were talking is like maybe it would took a little while to have number two.
Like another,
sex with number two, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After Elaine.
Yeah, it was. I wanted more sex, but there'd be girls, no doubt. There was girls that liked me, whatever I would kiss. You know what I mean? Like I get that. I always got that rub. I was walking around in high school with a heart on like crazy. It was just.
How many hours a day?
A few hours a day.
I had the same fucking problem. I asked my friends, "Hey man, you got a heart on?" They look at me, not like gay, but like, man, fucking, you know what I mean? They're like, "What's wrong with you?" Right? 8 hours a day on the bus,
right.
in class. Oops.
Right, could stand up to answer the questions. Nah. Yeah. I was really bad with it too, because there'd be like a fight or something. And you know how when somebody's fighting, everybody's crowding around, and I'd be pushing up, and there'd be some girl, and I'd be pushing up against her, and she'd be like, and she pushed back, and I would be like, yeah. I was like, I didn't know what else to do with it. It was just, I was the only way that I thought was to put it out there.
I don't think people know, right. They don't want to know maybe, but I think that Mother Earth created us, and some people created the fuck. Some people are more, it's in their blood, and you can't be mad because those are the pro-creators, kind of.
Well, I'm gonna tell you some funny shit. My granddad one time told me that the men in our family were groomed to go to plantation to impregnate the women.
Really?
Yes.
Well, groomed like taken care of? Or
I guess studs. They were grooming them as studs. Like they would just come in, have sex with whoever, impregnate them.
Impregnate the other black girls?
Yeah, the other girls. I guess I don't know that I should have maybe I should look more into it, because we were at a bar when he told me this shit. So I was just kind of like, I was still stuck on we were groomed as studs. I was like, yeah. It made sense to me. It made perfect sense. Perfect sense. I was like, all right, well, that's what I'm meant to do.
I like it, man. I'm meant to do it. It's a nice thing, because to live your life to give pleasure and get pleasure is kind of,
Yeah.
What is life about? I mean, a lot of it's that. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
I think. Right?
Yeah. If you're gonna be here, might as well enjoy it, right?
Yeah, right. Because you can just, you're gone. Look at all the people you've seen. Look at the people you've seen go. Mm-hmm. I know you've seen people go. I've seen people go. My next door neighbor just died night before last. Right?
Sorry to hear that.
Really, the best neighbor I ever had in my life. You know how neighbors are.
Right.
How do you find a good one?
Yeah.
I mean, the best. And the guy they called me up. Oh, he just passed. I'm like, what the fuck? Just like out of the blue.
Well, I mean, you look at what happened with Kobe. I mean, if that wasn't, that's God's way of saying, hey, pay attention. If he can go, and his daughter and those other families, then you're no different.
No, I mean, right? It's a tragedy. This is a positive show, but we can say that all that hard work that he put in, he got. He was paid for all that hard work, as in getting the love. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean he put in the work.
But
right.
I think it's fucked up that all that time, all that beauty he made, and because he just retired 3, 4, 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, like 4 years ago.
Something like that. And so now he's in his, I don't know. It's not the best years, because maybe when you're when you're in the spotlight, maybe it's the best, but at least you can relax. Now he's relaxed or doing whatever, and has a family, and he loses it. Right. It's fucking ridiculous. It's really it's just like
I think that was I think a lot of men. He resonated with a lot of men and women, and the fact that his daughter died with him resonated with families, resonated with parents, resonated with. So I think, nothing happens in this world without purpose. So
Really?
I believe it. I believe it. I believe the bad happens for a reason, and so does the good.
I can't. I've been all over the world, you know, in the nasty neighborhoods, and I can't agree with that one. You know, unfortunately, I've seen stuff that makes no sense, and I'm not. And people do things, you know, that I don't believe.
No, I hear you. Listen, somebody was a friend of mine was like, "You should just take a stand on this and this and this." Listen, I didn't create this world. I live in it. I create. I contribute to the environment. I shape it. I mean, making movies like 26 years later, people still talk to me about the movies. I still haven't seen all of the work that I did. So my contribution or my input in the world is that's what comes out of it. Feel me? So I see it, and I've had a lot of ups and downs that I see that I need to just stay positive. And so even when I see something negative, even when I see somebody do it, I don't contribute to it. I try to hey, shine the light and say, hey, come over this way. You don't need to do that. I used to encourage this shit. I used to join them like a motherfucker. But that, I think it comes with age, and I think it comes with seeing things like what happened with, a week ago. Or yesterday, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird. You know?
Right.
I mean, one person that we know really well, and it seemed to me like it happened similar, like my neighbor, was Bill Margold.
Love Bill.
Right? I mean, it's like, what the fuck? All of a sudden he's gone?
I used to have arguments with that motherfucker. Yeah, man. Because I had to pay my rent to him, because my office was next to his. Oh my God, man. I was like, all right, I got you. I need it today. I was like, I got you. Don't worry. And he go in there complain to Jim about me and shit. And then we used to get into these, but I would hold my own with him. I would hold my own because I always paid it. But I was like, he would just give me shit, and I would give him shit. But it would always be, at the end of the day, love. And I think if I can, I knew how well respected he was. Yeah. You know what I mean? And appreciated, because he was like a walking book historian, right, of the adult. He was a historian.
Yeah, we want to tell Bill Margold was a historian, but he was also a performer.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, a director, a producer,
an advocate
of the business, nothing but love, mostly. And he was almost like a journalist too, a little bit. Right?
Because he actually he was the editor of LA Express. Yeah,
he did a lot of different things, and he was always 1,000% for the business and for the people, and he liked to protect the people. And the truth is, you probably know, but maybe you don't. He started AIM. He started the first testing center.
Right.
And then he gave it to Sharon Mitchell.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's just for the people to know. Bill Margold was a wonderful guy, and
right. Yeah, no, when he passed away, I mean, listen, we've been around a long time. And even with this young generation, some of these performers are dying of overdoses and stuff, and, suicide. They're just kids, they're young. I mean, I say kids, I think in terms of maturity and understanding. You know what I mean? When you're young, you don't know shit. You think you do. And some things, maybe you've been blessed with the instinctual guide and you can see things ahead. But most just talk the talk. They can't do the walk. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's tough to, it's tough because in this business, it's changing, I hope so. And I think with social media, it adds a different effect on them, a different influence on them. You know what I mean? They having to live and think through this thing that ain't real, right? And so as a performer, I can't even imagine what they're susceptible to. Because as much as I get a bunch of weird, strange messages, but I'm a little bit older than these guys, so I discern between them. Right. But when you're young, you don't know.
You're not as strong usually. But let me tell you something. Even before social media, maybe you know, maybe you don't know these people. But I was a big porn fan. You know what I mean? So. Right. Shauna Grant killed herself. She was a beautiful blonde, right? Megan Leigh, another cute blonde. Right, Joey said she was unbelievable.
Right.
Alex Jordan.
I remember her.
Remember? She killed herself. She hung herself. Missy, right? Something happened to Missy, right?
Missy was like, an angel.
Right, a nice person.
Yeah.
And I know I've missed a few people that I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's more that I got in the back of that I even remember, you know? That, kind of remember. I can't really get to pull their names up, but,
I mean, Jessica James, that
this is new time, right?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really know her, but...
I didn't know her either, but she had a huge impact on the business and, social media, again,
But these were people that just live in life, before social media. So, but there's people that throughout the world, you know what I mean, that commit suicide all the time.
Yeah.
It's not the business, it's just probably, what you're trying to lean towards is saying that some people are not strong enough, educated enough, loved enough to be able to deal with what goes on in the world.
Yeah, they don't.
Pain.
There's a lot, and I guess I don't know how we ended there, but
we gotta move away from that. But,
I think it was just in reflecting, and I think that's probably why I think differently about things. That's what I'm now. That's my goal is to
be nice.
Yeah, as much as
as much as all the people want to throw blades your way, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so the second girl was how old? Move back to the fun,
I know, right.
Right. Ladies number 1, 11 years old. And
right. Ladies number 1, right. I'm trying to think who the second girl was.
Because sometimes it does take time. Like, this is not the time when the girls are given action. Yeah. It's kind of, you got to get lucky, work, everything, right?
Yeah, you just gotta. When you're young, too, you're just kind of falling into it. I guarantee it's different now. They just send a DM to somebody now and get it. But we had to go to the school. We had to hang out at the school. We had to meet them after the school. We had to go somewhere with them after school.
Or be at a party, maybe, right?
Maybe find out about the party, get to the party, and hope it goes down at the party.
Yeah, beg the girl. Stay all night. Hey.
Right. And you got to get your parents to come pick you up and bring you home safely. You got your curfew. You only got a certain amount of time to make this shit happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, it was. We don't know what it's like today, but one thing we do know is that all this porno and all these positions and all this anal and all this crazy wild stuff was never available for us to view. And we were just on our own. Maybe we looked at a dirty magazine and it wasn't that dirty.
Yeah, I mean, unless you got lucky, and I got lucky. I found my dad had a stack of magazines from Europe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got lucky because I saw the difference between the European market and the American market and shit.
That could be frightful.
It was good. It was like, yes, I knew they fucked. I knew it. Because the American version was like, never no penetration. There was blowjob was like this. It was like, but in your mind, you don't know that. You don't know. You're just like, even the fact that she's holding the dick and the dick's there, you know what's next. In your mind, you know what's next.
Yeah, it was really hard to find those magazines, but I think what was easier to find was playing cards with the penetration.
I never saw those.
No?
I never missed that.
Maybe I got lucky.
You got lucky.
Probably. So, who was the girl? Who was number 2?
Shit, man, you make it.
Make it hard?
Yeah, it's hard, man. I don't remember who I was with,
Yeah? Okay.
After Elaine, there was, because there was a girl, well, I like this, because I always go back to this girl. There was a girl at school who had a crush on me, right? And so we had planned, we were getting out of school early one day. And her
planned it.
We planned.
You got planned. You're a planner.
I'm a
I'm fucking playing these girls. They didn't plan with me.
We're just mapping it out. It's something to look forward to. It's like 48-hour foreplay and shit. You're looking forward. You can't wait. You know it's gonna be good. Yeah. I can't wait 48 hours now. But so she set it up. We're getting out of school early, and so I walked her home, and we did it in her parents' bedroom. Yeah, in her parents' bed. I felt so bad.
That's bad.
It was really, really bad. It was really bad. And then what was so bad about it, so after I've done, right, I walked all the way home. Got home. About 2 hours later, I went back to her house, knocked on the door, and her parents are home. And I was like, I can't remember her damn name. She was a white girl and shit. I asked for her. She came to the door. I said, hey, let's go to the park. So she was like, so she left with me. We went to this little school down the street from her house, and she gave me a blowjob on the swing set. And I was like,
How old was she?
I think we were 14.
No, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
I mean, like it doesn't, like sometimes you say to yourself, oh, normal, blah, blah, blah. But when you're young, why are you under house rules? You know what I mean? Like you can't do this, you can't do that. You didn't make you. The universe made you. You know, that's the fact.
Right.
And your desires are your desires. If you're not hurting anybody, what the fuck, right? That's what I
mean, you don't know. You're just trying to. You ain't thinking about consequences, rules, guidelines. She like you, you like her, and
it's the prettiest thing in the world. I think. What's prettier than that?
I hear you, wow. Bro. I hear you.
You know what I mean? That's what I think. So that's cool. So
I agree.
What kind of economic status did you grow up in? You know what I mean?
Household. It was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
My mother was always had an open door. So my uncles came and stayed. My auntie came and stayed. They came and went. And then my mom, she got married when I was about 15. When I was 12. She got married.
What happened to your dad?
I never met him. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know. So I probably had issues with that. I mean, I did growing up. It's like because everybody was showing up with their dads and shit, and it was obviously I had a one-sided household. You know, like my mom was the man and the woman of the house, and until my uncles and everybody came around, it was just me and her. So then when my uncles came around for a little bit, and me and my mom's youngest brother, me and him, we just clicked. Me and him, we still cool to this day. So it was me and him, my aunt, and then they moved on, and then my mom got married, and then then my sister, she had my sister, so I was 12, and up until that point, it was just me and her. You know, we were homeless at one point. Yeah.
So she had different jobs or something? Yeah,
she was actually, it was funny because when I was out there trying to get my second girlfriend, my second sexual experience, she was an ice cream truck driver. Uh-huh. So she used to drive her. So I used to, some days on the weekends, I would go with her and just sit in the truck with her and, you know, do my homework or whatever. Uh-huh. It was cool, but I knew it wasn't real money. It was like, she was doing it, but it wasn't like we were living great because of it. Yeah. But
you're the only son, right, at that point in time.
Right.
So was it all love?
Yeah. I mean, my mother's tough. Yeah. She's tough because she had to like fend for herself. You know what I mean? So, and I was young. I didn't know shit. So I was shaping. I had to just really take in what I thought a man should be from other people, from what I seen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And then how my mother was with shit. So I had to see how my mom was. So she was tough. She's still tough. But there's moments where I see that, you know, she's like just a loving woman. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's sometimes hard out there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, my mother put me on a bus to come. I was born in Pomona. I lived in Pomona. So she would put me on the bus from Pomona, and I would take the bus all the way downtown LA to go see my mom's best friend's kids, who are my best friends to this day. We call each other cousins. We family. But she would put me on the bus, so I'd have to, like, you know, keep an eye out, become aware. You know what I mean? I'm still that way. I still can go through this whole entire city, buses, subways, you know, driving, whatever. But I know the city, you know?
LA.
I know LA.
The truth is that I didn't like that many people in the business, fellow performers. You probably would know because, you know what I mean? You always hear people talk shit, but, you know, when I like somebody, I always like them. You know what I mean? I didn't, you know, feel a different way. You know what I mean? And you're one of the guys I liked. You know?
Yeah. You were, to me, you were just always intense, and you're still intense. So I'd always have to, like, you know, take it in small doses and shit. Yeah.
But always very nice to you, right?
Nah, of course. I mean, shit, me and you've had some stories, and we've done some things.
Oh, we're gonna get to those, and we're gonna try to remember everything we can.
Right, we're trying to remember that shit is another story.
So you love the girls. When was your first kiss? It was around 10, 11? Because, you know, that's for me, the first kiss. I love kissing the girls, right? I love kissing the girls. I see the art of kissing, maybe leaving. But every time you see the fucking movies, right? They see them go like this, right? The regular movies, you know what I mean? Or they're, you know, they're cutting it with the hair, you know what I mean? Turning the shot. Like directors and actresses and actors. If you don't want to live up to your part in this big budget movie with your co-star, then don't do it. Don't get paid $10 million. Go kiss your boyfriend and get a different job, because you're hurting the love in the world.
You want to see a real kiss and shit. You don't want to see no movie star shit. You don't want to see no movie shit. Yeah, I can tell the difference. Like, you know who goes all in? Jessica Alba.
Yeah, she's so beautiful.
She goes all in. I'm like, yes, go all in, girl.
I met her one time. Did you ever meet her?
I met her one time, yeah.
I met her at the airport, right? I was like, what the fuck? It was just when Honey came out. You know, I was on my way to Europe to shoot one of my movies. And I was like, whoa. Her skin was glowing gold, right? Like, I had a girlfriend one time that had gold skin, like gold glowing, right? And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, hi, right? I was like, not like, you know, I mean, because you know the truth is, I was a big fan of her. She's so fucking pretty, my style, right? And she said hi to me and she struck up a small conversation. And I would have thought for a second that I might have had a chance had my game been a little tighter.
Right. You never know. Right. You thought the same thing I was thinking. I thought maybe I got a chance.
Right? I mean, she was so nice. And that's probably just her being nice.
Right.
But she was fucking beautiful.
And nah, she goes all in. I met her at a movie premiere. I was walking on the red carpet, and she was walking on the side of me, and I was just like, and she was cussing.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the first time I was like, oh shit, she just goes all in. Like,
good doggy style.
I was like, yo, because she had did something in Pomona. I was like, yo, I'm from Pomona. And she was like, oh yeah, I've been through there. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. I just thought I'd say that.
Anything else? Just give me one more word, I'll keep it going. Yeah, you're right. You know, the girls kissing for me is a big deal. And I see a girl here and there in a movie, and they'll go for it, right? And I'll say, all right, you know, I mean, that's cool. Regular movie, because it gives, for me, it warms my heart. What about you?
No, I mean, you know what? Like in the movies, if it was a scene with just me and a girl, and, you know, kissing always set it off in the right direction. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, you know, it's rare when you get a really good kiss. It's rare when you get a kiss, but it's rare when you get a good kiss. It's rare to get a great kisser. Well, yeah. Period, right? Right. How many girls do you know? And I have kissed, and you've kissed, right? How many girls through time have you kissed that were naturally clicking great kissers? How many? I mean, I can count them on 20, probably 10 to 20. And I've kissed thousands. A lot. Yeah, no, you absolutely, it doesn't always equate to like, you know, you think, it's like, I was thinking when you were saying that, I was thinking it's like getting head, like, you know, but I was trying to see if there was a correlation between a great kisser and an awesome head giver. Cocksucker. Cocksucker. You said cocksucker. I said head giver. Yeah. Potatoes, tomatoes. Yeah, is there a relationship? You know, maybe I need to go back and study this. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, you know what? Absolutely no. And now that I think about it, some of the girls that are really, really good kissers are actually very, very good head givers. Yeah. Because I can go from kissing her to putting her on my dick, and it's just like, yeah. Yeah.
I just love kissing the girls.
Yeah.
I love a good kiss. They're so hard to find.
It's hard. It's not as common as like people like to think. When somebody's cheating, or you think that somebody's going. It's like sometimes if they're not extremely, you know what I mean. If the sex and the kissing, that passionate and elevated, you know what I mean.
It makes your dick real hard when the kiss is perfect, right? And when you're having sex with the girl, and you kiss her. I like kissing. Even when I was so young, I love kissing. All over, whatever. Even you put them over doggy style, put their head around, kissing them, right?
It's
missionary, or cowgirl, even reverse cowgirl if you can get her over, bent down.
Right.
It always gets the blood.
It's nice when it's like good kissing chemistry too. Like when you feel like damn. The lips and like you just kissing is key.
So we want to tell. It seems like a 2-part game here, right? Right. We're both agreeing that we want more kissing out there with the people. We don't need the kissing. We got a lot of kissing. We'll take it, but you know what I mean? We want the people in the movies outside. Please, for us, give somebody a nice kiss.
Kiss can go a long way. It can put the fire. It can light the fire. You know what I mean? Yeah. It can start something.
It starts a flame for sure.
Right.
So, what was the first kiss? You remember? Might be hard, huh?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, before, because you kissed a girl, obviously you kissed Elaine, but before Elaine,
I was thinking my best friend's sister.
That one girl?
The one I was humping.
Irene or?
Nah.
That was somebody else?
That was somebody else. I had a crush on Irene. I couldn't. Irene just wasn't. She wasn't going there. She was probably more scared of me. She's like, "What does this dude want from me?"
Okay.
Yeah. I was on her.
Is that when you knocked at the door?
Yeah. I should have done that.
Wow, you were fairly innocent. So was natural.
I didn't know, man. I didn't know.
Nothing to know. It's natural. That's the way the West was won.
Right. Knock first.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to remember that. You just like kissing them?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Girls, cool. There's a lot of girls.
Yeah.
A lot of girls just milling around, just looking for affection, man.
Yeah. It's nice.
Right.
The girls do want some affection, but from the right person, of course.
Of course. I think, and I don't know. I didn't put too much thought. I was just like, I just wanted, to connect. Yeah. I wanted to connect. I wanted to I kissed a lot of girls. Once my confidence was starting to really develop, you know what I mean? I had a certain, I don't know, we say swag now, but once I realized I had a swag, once I put my mind on something, then it would start to, come into existence.
No, I mean, your mind is very powerful. It's very strange if we knew the secrets. And then maybe it's better that we don't know the secrets.
Right,
we don't really know what we're going to get.
Right.
Pandora's box. Lightning, levitation.
Tornadoes and shit.
Lasers, who knows?
Right.
But I've seen weird things happen with the mind, right?
Yeah.
So, what kind of student were you? What kind of student were you in school?
I wasn't a really good student.
No?
No, I didn't really grab the concept of, I don't know, school education until after school. Right. Once I got out of high school, I was like, then I realized how important education was. And I was thinking I should have paid attention, but I didn't.
Well, you know what I think sometimes, is that the teachers, if they want to give you some attention, not sexual attention, but attention.
I know. Focused.
Focus and support you and help you, then you're way more apt to study and be interested rather than a teacher who just treats you like a piece of shit.
Right.
Do you see some of that possibly or no? You just weren't interested?
I think it's funny because I think I needed the support to come from my mom and my family, and it wasn't there. You know what I mean? My mother wasn't on my homework. She wasn't on me about it. Right. She was out busy trying to, get the money together to pay the rent, to do whatever. Me, I would go to school and I don't know. I'm much more of like a dreamer. Like I'm a guy who comes up with ideas. I meditate on things. I think about how to make things better. So for me, it was always on the creative side. So I should have had tools for that, but I didn't. But she just was on different. Education wasn't a big thing for her, and it wasn't really. She didn't know how to push it for me. You know what I mean? Because she never took an interest in it, and the teachers I had would only do so much. You know what I mean? All of that. I say all of that to say that when I had kids of myself, my own, education was key. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was paying attention to everything they was doing work-wise. And so I did what didn't happen for me, I did it for my own kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see what...
right.
What was missing, you know?
It was like, when I got in the real world, it was like, oh, you should know this, you should know that, you should,
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't.
Yeah, it is interesting, what one person might be able to do with a little support and guidance. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With a little guidance, you were creative. Maybe you could have become an artist or a music artist or anything. Right. Who knows? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not dead yet, so you never know.
Well, I mean, to me, you still look so fucking young. You know?
Right.
How the fuck? What's your secret? Good pussy? What?
Pussy. Good old fashioned pussy.
Good pussy.
Just. I don't know, man. I mean, good time, a rebound. I'll tell you what it is too. My mom, before she got married, she had a boyfriend. His name was James. James was always clean cut. He'd come over, he'd wear slacks, he had on boots, he had on a nice silk shirt. His hair was always done.
Is he from the East Coast? He's wondering.
I can't remember. I think he was an LA brother, but he was just always the rings, the watch. He was just always well put together, and I think he had an influence on me. He was like, take care of yourself, take care of yourself, because here he was an older man, and so I got that. I picked that up at a young age. Yeah,
that's a great example because who the fuck wants to look like shit? You know?
Yeah, well, some people, That's what's around them, you know what I mean? You got to take a conscious, step in dictating what happens in your life.
Right, you don't really know what you pick up because if you're right, if you're around something, you think that's normal.
Right.
And it's not really what should be normal because, society, you want to survive, excel in society. You don't want to be, secondary, third, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So unless you're looking good and feeling good, you're not going to do good.
Right.
Pretty much.
I know a lot of brothers, black and white, that just get around people who say, hey, shave, wipe your ass, you know what I mean? Put on some deodorant, keep your clothes clean, have them ironed. I mean, when you have those things, and those things are like constantly what you're seeing, and that's who you're around, it becomes who you are. Yeah. You start to define it your way. You know what I mean? And I think, for me growing up, it was like I had some sense of what I liked and what I didn't like. You know what I mean? I had the freedom to do it. I didn't have no dad telling me don't do this or do that. I didn't have that. My mother was there sporadically. She wasn't there all the time, but she was, when she come around, she put her foot down and we'd go probably do something. But I was pretty much on my own at a pretty early age. So I just had to, kind of find what worked, find my way.
Well, it could be hard. It could be good and it could be hard, right? Because you're free, but then, you need guidance.
Right. Guidance is key.
Freedom is great, but guidance, I make a mistake, you know what I mean?
Amen, bro.
So, right, it's easy to make mistakes, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right, you got somebody over there kind of telling you to stay away from it or go over this way or avoid that or, pay, look out for this. You tend to become more aware of those things.
Yeah, I mean, your friends could influence you in the wrong direction, like into gangs. Were you in any gangs?
Nah, I was terrible. I was terrible at drug dealing. I was terrible at gangbanging.
So you tried it all?
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't.
What happened with drug dealing?
I was like, you know,
nice. What?
I was just, yeah, I was like, it was like yeah, I was like, I went to go, I didn't serve them like the people on the street. I wasn't like, I didn't, because actually, funny thing was my mom, we used to live in the place called the Angelos, which is in Pomona, and it was an upstairs, downstairs apartment. And where I lived, my room overlooked the street. So you got the street coming down, here's my upstairs bedroom window. So I can see whoever's coming down the street. And they used to sell crack right there outside my window. So I used to look down and I would see them slanging, selling crack. And that's literally what it was, rocks. And then they would have them on them, or they'd have them hiding behind a bush, or hiding underneath the seat.
You saw them?
Yeah, I see them go run. When a car pulled up, they go over to a tree, climb up, grab a branch or something, pull down some weed, some crack, walk over to the motherfucker, some rocks, make the sale, put the shit right back up. I used to see that shit. I watched it for like 2 years. I just watched it. And then the cops started coming and break, and I saw motherfuckers get choked out and had to spit out the coke because they swallowed it. That, you know, it was just, I saw crazy shit from that window. So that was like, and my mother never would let me go outside during those times. She would never let me get involved with them. So
that was a project. The Angelo was a project.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't considered a project, but
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was the hood.
So you never tried serving, or you did?
So when I moved to Chino. When I got to Chino, I met this brother who was like, "You want to make some extra money? You know, I'll give you some rocks to sell." And I was like, "All right, cool." And I don't know how I came across somebody. It was a white cat, and he would always I would always meet him somewhere and sell him the crack. And then one day I went to he was like, and he never wanted me to know where he lives. And then one day he says, he wanted it, but he didn't want to go through, he didn't want me to meet him nowhere. He wanted me to bring it to his house. I was like, oh, that's a first. So I drove over to his house, and he opens up the door. He's got his kid sitting in his arms, his little baby. He's got his baby in his hand. And I was just like, that was it. That was the last time I ever did that shit.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh. I just was like, okay, this is not going to work. Right? This is not going to work.
Yeah, because maybe the kid can take it, right?
I didn't,
or
man.
right?
I just saw him differently. Because I'm telling you, before that he was doing all these things to keep it a secret. Mm-hmm. Now here he was doing it like at his house with his kid there, and I was like, ah.
Oh, so maybe he had advanced in the process of smoking crack. Maybe
now that we're talking about it, yeah. I didn't know. I just knew that I wasn't going to continue doing that shit. Right.
So, did you play sports in school?
I played football.
Football?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
I like football. Yeah. Football was it was cool. But every time I tell people about it, I always say, well, I didn't have that support. There wasn't no father. My uncles didn't. My uncles, when they came into my life, they didn't come around. So I was on the field and I was good. I liked it, but I didn't go anywhere with it. The only thing it probably did for me was it taught me to go into the gym. You know, I learned how to work out in the gym.
Were you fast or agile?
Strong.
Strong?
I was just strong, and I could carry people.
Oh, yeah, so they jump on you, keep moving?
Yeah. Right.
You had strong legs?
Yeah.
That's cool. How much you weigh?
215. Yeah.
How much you weigh back then in school?
Probably like 170 or something. 170. Yeah.
In 10th, 11th, 12th grade or something like that?
Yeah.
So that's pretty good size, right?
Yeah.
Not small.
Nah, but I didn't have height. You know what I mean?
I noticed. No. You got more height than me, not much, but
right, we got no height. Yeah, I didn't have height, man, but I had strength. Yeah.
Yeah, 170 is fairly. When I was in school, right, I wrestled at 96 pounds.
Oh wow.
I was fucking small.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, you're lean though. You're pretty lean though.
Yeah, I always had a ton of muscle on me. You know?
Right.
Just naturally. Yeah. I used to work, in the mines.
Right.
But anyway.
Right.
So, but that's a trip. You know what I mean? So you think you could have did good in football? Because those guys get pretty big, right?
Man, I wasn't. I liked playing football, but it was, I hated the training. I hated the training. I remember we used to go out we used to do these things called the worm, and it was in midsummer, on your stomach with your hands behind your back, full uniform. You got to crawl the entire field on your.
Cool.
I hated that shit.
Yeah, because it does different muscles. Yeah, loosens up and builds muscle.
Right, but in
like
the
wrestling.
heat, in the heat, nah. In the fucking grass.
You just wanted to chill out with some chicks.
Yeah, I didn't want to do all that, man.
Were you popular in school?
I mean, like I said, I think after high school, I became a whole different person. During high school, I was kind of quiet. I was sitting in the background. I mean, I had friends and everybody, but I wasn't outspoken. I used to get bagged on. They used to they used to bag on me, man, because my mother wouldn't buy me she wouldn't buy me the Jordans when they first came out. I remember that when they came out, everybody had Jordans, and, all the good shoes, the Nikes. I didn't have none of that. I had the Payless. I had Sears. So
Tough Skins? Don't tell me you had Tough Skins.
I might have some Tough Skins.
I hated Tough Skins. I got them too. I hate them. I said, what are you buying me these Tough Skins for, man? You had those motherfuckers?
Right.
The stupid ass patch in the back?
Right. Action slacks and shit. My mom used to put clothes on layaway and shit. And so by the time school rolled around, Sears and shit, Wranglers. Yeah, I didn't get all that.
Tough Skins.
Yeah, I had a pair of Tough Skins. I still probably got them.
Really?
I hope not.
People talk shit about Tough Skins, don't they?
They talk shit. They talk shit about your shoes. My shoes, man, they used to give me so much shit about my shoes. So I just got quiet. I just chilled.
People were bagging on you? Right? They're bagging on your clothes and Tough Skins. So did you have to punch somebody out?
I mean, I wasn't a fighter like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like, I knew why they were bagging on me. I wanted like my mom, but they didn't understand, you know what I mean? But I don't know what it was. I just felt like at an early age, I think that I didn't have nothing to prove to those motherfuckers anyways.
That's an interesting train of thought. I wonder why. Any idea why you weren't aggressive?
I mean, because I was by myself like most of my life up until high school. So I guess you're quiet because you got you don't have no one constantly shaping you, talking to you, developing you. You just kind of like have your thoughts. You see what's going on and you have your thoughts about it, and so I still do this to this day. I just kind of meditate on things. I read. I'm not quick to judge. I'm not a public denouncer. I'm always looking to understand something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even at that age, I understood where it was coming from, and I just didn't.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. That's using your brain.
Yeah.
I wasn't that way. I just attacked. I was so small, man.
Right.
But I wasn't letting nobody talk shit.
Right.
As far as I just.
Nah, I mean, you had a whole different mindset, man.
I didn't know how to fight when I was younger. So when you do sports, right, your body moves in a coordinated way.
Okay.
You get much more coordinated than not doing sports.
Right.
You know what your body can do.
That's true.
How to get balanced,
right.
How to run, how to be loose. I just worked in the truck shop and in the mine, so I was not loose enough or coordinated enough. Nobody taught me how to fight,
right.
And I was so fucking small. So and I had a bad attitude. So you get punched and you're like, I had fast hands, but
you just hit on something too, because I was this morning, I was like kind of looking in the mirror and I was moving, but I wasn't, that coordination, that flexibility, that you're right. And I was just talking to a friend of mine and I told her, I said, next week I'm gonna start doing like whatever boxers, trainers do to get in shape. I'm gonna start doing that because I feel like they physically, build their endurance and their stamina, and they burn. They get leaner. Their body gets more.
Running.
Right.
Running and
right.
Even just shadow boxing. What I mean? And just thinking of a punch coming at you. Makes your body. Weights get you tight.
Yeah.
They keep you tight.
but they don't. There's no real true function. You got no flexibility. You can't jump and pull yourself up over a fence, or quickly grab something, or throw something with purpose and focus. And, accuracy. It's just a difference. So I'm realizing. I realize that I was going to the weights for strength. Now I want to go for flexibility and agility.
Yeah. I think weights are super important. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Keep your strength, especially when you get older. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so that's cool. I never saw you as an aggressive guy, so I believe it. But that's interesting. You say that you weren't giving a fuck about them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
You ignore them.
Right.
Fuck off. If they hit, did anybody ever touch you?
No. I never had that. No.
My school must have been a lot worse because the people in my school would jump you, would fucking.
No, I did have. I had one guy, man. Me and him, we didn't get along in high school, and I probably got into one fight. And to this day, me and him are friends. I just texted him the other day. Wow. But he was a bigger guy. He's crazy. He's still that way. He's still that way to this day. He's just still like, fuck that. He'd say what's on his mind. He's got super aggression. But he was the only guy I fought in high school, and we're still friends.
That's cool. At my school, they were doing a lot of cheap shot stuff. I mean, just straight up.
Where'd you grow up at?
All over. I actually went to school in Tahunga one time. I spent about 3 or 4 years in what was the fucking name of that school that was in Tahunga?
So you were born in the Valley?
Yeah.
I didn't never do that.
Yeah, man.
I thought you were from somewhere else, man.
Well, my family's from New York, so I have that accent, but I was born here.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But I was in Tahunga at grammar school. They were stabbing people in my grammar school.
Oh, wow.
Right? And matter of fact, there was a kid in school. This gives you an example. They were so aggressive and so with it, you know what I mean? The kid, me and this kid were gonna fight, right?
Right.
Second grade, right? I was always fighting, I don't know why, they just came to me, you know what I mean? Like a magnet, right?
Right.
And the kid said, we were ready to fight. Oh man, I'm sorry, bro. It's cool, man. Let's be friends, right?
Right.
I said, all right, I'm a friendly kid, right? Boom! They gave me a great body shot. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
It was beautiful. I mean, beautiful thinking.
Got you
second grade?
Right.
Second grade.
Right, no, I got you.
Fuck, that's like 7 years old. Running game.
Right. He taught you something. He caught you off guard, and he was like, fuck that, I'm never going to be off guard.
I mean, I probably got caught before, but I mean, surely it taught me something because I used that same game in the streets a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, man. And one time I had 3 guys, and they were big, and they thought they could get me, but then they were kind of being careful. I said, oh, man, it's cool. I went to the biggest guy. Let's be friends. Boom, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyways, that's a different story.
Right.
It's a good one, though.
No, I hear you. If I did that shit, something terrible would have happened. I already know. So.
Oh, yeah. So football, so then the girls you liked more. So how many girls did you have sex with in school? You're shy, so it's not that many. The numbers aren't that high.
Nah. I mean, I was humping and I had girls, but I don't know the number. It wasn't girls. I didn't know girls liked me, like truly liked me, until after high school. To that summer after senior year. Once I graduated, I remember all of us boys were hanging out. We're gonna play a game of touch football, flag football, and I took my shirt off that day. This is like,
shape?
Yeah, this is 1988, and I'm running down, and I caught the ball, and everybody's like, "Hey!" My nickname in high school is No Love, and they were like, "Hey, No Love."
Why?
No Love was, for me personally, it was like my way of saying that it's all love.
Okay.
So No Love was so people be like, "Oh, you get no love? Oh, you get no love?" But like, truly, I was always getting love. It was always real love. Huh. So, but No Love just sounded better. Sound harder too. So No Love was my nickname in high school, and that's still my nickname to my boys. That's all, when they text me, that's what it is. It's No Love. And I remember the girls were like, "Hi, No Love," and it just freaked me out because I was like, they never showed they showed interest, but not like in front of other girls. Like they all did it. And especially in front of the guys, they did it all in front of the guys. They fucking did it in front of everybody. And I thought, oh wow. Now, and from that point on, it was like then girls. I had girlfriends like crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
They just kept coming to your house, just going out.
I would go to them. They would meet with me. As soon as I got a car, I was like I was in West Covina, La Puente. Not West Covina, City of Industry.
Not West Covina.
Yeah, I went to West Covina.
I was chasing girls at West Covina.
I was chasing girls.
We might have been going to the same girl.
Yeah.
I was 18, and you were probably 16 or something like that, right?
Right.
So I was 20 years old, so you're probably could have been chasing. We might have fucked same bitches.
Maybe, man.
I had a Porsche. I was chasing.
Oh, right. I don't know what I was. I was driving a Volkswagen.
You want to hear a crazy story? Is that I lost my good cars, and one time I had this piece of shit car from my father's junkyard. This thing is a piece of shit as you could ever imagine, right? Mm-hmm. And I got so much pussy in that car. It was the weirdest thing. Right. Me and my boy would be cruising, and then it would break down too. It was beat up, gray, primered, interior ripped up, not even really a car.
Right.
Oh, we got a lot of pussy in that car. I don't know what the hell. We'd be rolling up. Hey, it's like weird. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, they don't give a fuck, really. And if a girl does, you don't want to fuck with her.
Well, I mean, my Porsche did help me get a lot of pussy.
I bet it probably did, bro.
It was a different day, you know what I mean? Because there weren't that many cars out.
And Porsche still to this day would do that.
Yeah, but now there's so many cars today that they just go by. But when we're young, you had a badass car, it meant something. I thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know what? I had a Suzuki. I had a Suzuki Samurai. And the only thing I had with that was I put speakers in the back. And so it was like basically like a big stereo. Right. I was driving around just playing music. That was it.
The girls liked it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, because it was convertible. So they like hanging out with me, but...
It's L.A., man.
And it was L.A. I had a lot of problems. I always had a lot of problems with cars, but that's another story.
They break down? So.
Nah, that car got shot up. I had it for 2 weeks. I know. I went to a this is when they used to do rave parties way out there in San Bernardino. And so I would, and that was a big...
That's close to where I was, by the way. I was in Victorville.
For real?
Yeah. I was fucking girls in San Bernardino, by the way.
Right.
That's crazy. But go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I was San Bernardino. It's... For those of you who don't know, it's about 60 miles, 50 miles east of LA. Way east.
Hey, easy pickings, right?
That's kind of...
And girls would be like, hey. I'd be like, hey.
It was good. I had a good time. That was like my training ground.
Yeah.
San Bernardino, Fontana, Rialto.
I used to go to Fontana Boxing Club.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a trip.
Did you ever do you ever knew about the Metro?
I went to Club Metro. I did a stripping contest there one time.
What?
You know how they did this, like amateur guys stripping?
Right.
Yeah, I was there
You
on stage. Fuck it. I think I got a couple of girls come home with me, I think.
Yeah. Nah, it was good. Metro was like, for me, it was like the supermarket. Because there was always girls there, there was always music, and you just go in there and pick what you want. And
really? That easy?
It was easy.
Well, you probably had it going on. I had some girls. I had a lot of girls, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, Club Metro was, you could get in at 18, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. You just get stamped.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you probably sneak some alcohol, whatever.
Yeah, man. You get your drink on before you went there and shit. You was just right. Yeah.
At Club Metro, and I was down in the club scene. There's other clubs too around the area. The girls were cool. They wanted to fuck around.
Yeah. Nah, no worries. There was no worries. There was nobody shooting at the clubs or nothing like that.
So what happened in your car?
So I went out so now raves were starting to become the thing. Late in like the last year of high school, people were doing rave parties and shit. And I had this little Suzuki and went to the rave party out there in San Bernardino. Park, it was out there in like industrial area, way out in the boonies. There was a combination of warehouse and cow farms and shit. And so it was like on this dirt road, a bunch of cars. Parked my car, I walked in with my friends. We got there late, we partied, doing our thing, and then they're like telling us, stay in, they're shooting. And, you know, they closed the door, they made us stay in there for a little bit. And finally, when they let us come out of the warehouse that we were in, they said they were shooting. I walked out, and out of all the cars that get shot, my car got shot. So they were shooting at somebody. These guys drove up, were shooting at somebody, and the dude ran by my car as they were shooting. So he shot it with like it was a shotgun. So the pellets just sprayed the fuck out of my car. So I had all these little fucking bullet holes in my car and shit. I had the motherfucker 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So I used to drive around with bullet holes in my car and shit. I was only 18 years old, man.
That might be a good conversation piece, though.
I mean, you know, it scared most motherfuckers, but other
What the fuck are they shooting for?
I don't know.
Was it some Crips Bloods?
At that time, you know, yeah, it was black. There was a lot of racial things going on.
Drive-by kind of bullshit.
It was crazy shit.
Yeah. Did you ever, by chance, because in this time, it was a great place to get pussy. Right? I had to tell you,
right.
Way better than you can imagine.
Right.
It's called Lake Havasu.
Oh, no, I never made it. I never made it.
You missed out, man.
I went the opposite direction. I was in Tijuana.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But the girls in Lake Havasu,
yeah.
they just want to fuck. They just want to have fun, all of them.
Yeah.
They just want to go there to have fun. I fucked some girls there that I will never forget. It's just, right?
I got to do this because I'm sitting here hungry. So you went out to Lake Havasu, and how did you go with somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Who'd you go with?
Oh, different times, different people, you know what I mean? So, you know, just friends, you know what I mean? It was great, you know, because the vibe was there, you know, the energy was there. That's what I'm talking about, this energy. You know, the girls are happy, more organic. The energy's there, love. You know, love is there. Girls want to have fun. You know, they're not so messed up in the head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So they're like, oh, we like boys. Yeah, boys like girls.
Right.
It's, you know.
It was like, maybe it was like the 70s, because in the 70s, I was growing up, but I wasn't sexual like that. But what you're describing sounds like it was like a carryover from the 70s, like that free, open.
We were there.
Yeah.
Right, the girls liked you and when you got out of high school, right?
Right.
They truly liked you.
Yeah.
Why? Because the head wasn't all crazy.
Right.
They weren't trying to run some game.
There wasn't no social media. They weren't competing with one another.
They weren't trying to get the bag off you, right? Mm-hmm. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thought was never even around. It was just wholesome, happy, just beautiful, I thought. You know?
Right.
Anyway, so, you know, so you have some good action. And so what made you decide to get a porno? That was their, you know, what happened?
This is actually pretty good, thank you. What made me want to get into porn, it goes back to like that football game. When the girls were saying, hi, no love, there was that. And you said you did a stripping thing over at
Metro.
Yeah. So when I didn't do something, I did something similar, but it was at another club that was like in Corona. And they wanted me, it was like a contest, singing, it was like a dance contest. So I came out singing to Jodeci's Come and Talk to Me, the remix. So I came out and I started dancing for these girls in the club. I'm on stage, just feeling it. My confidence is, you know, I'm not sure if I nailed it or not, but I just felt like this is what I wanted to do.
So the girls were giving you a lot of love?
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Because some guys get out there, they're not getting the love.
No, they're not getting the love. I always got the love. And so I'm doing this and all the girls are like screaming and I ended up winning. I think it was like $50.
Wow,
and,
really?
Yeah, it was $50 and all the girls came and all my boys were like, you the man, because all the girls wanted to kick it with us. They wanted to know where we were going, what we were doing. So I kind of set the bar for, you know, for the fellas. They all were like, you know, now they're all married and kids and shit, but we were.
Boys, they're your boys, yeah.
Yeah, they were my boys, and they were like getting at the girls, and the girls were trying to get at us, and I just felt like I was the king. I really did. I felt like I was the king, and that and what happened. I don't know. I just felt confidence. I felt sexually confident it was like confirmation, like, okay. And I didn't even know the porn was a business. I didn't even know. I found my stepdad's, my stepdad, when my mom got married, he, unbeknownst to my mom, or maybe she knew, but he brought his porn collection. And I just happened to find it one day. And when I saw, like I said, he had European magazines. So when I touched those magazines and I saw the hardcore sex, and it wasn't a film, it was all just pictures, it just clicked. It clicked. It was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And it's weird. Here we are talking about it. 20, when I decided I wanted to do it, I think I was like 19, maybe 20. And I was like, yeah, either 19 or 20. So when I decided I wanted to do it, when I put the seed in my head that I wanted to do it, and then it just started, I was in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Once I made the decision.
Yeah, but so how'd you find your way to whoever? Who was the person? How did you find your way?
I got...
how did the seed grow?
Right. It was planted, and it was like, all the water and the sunlight was coming from other places, and it was funny because I picked up the LA Express. The LA Express was free. At that time, it was free.
You're in LA right now?
I was in Chino.
Chino. Okay.
And and the LA Express was at the bookstore. I used to go to the bookstore because in the back of the bookstore they had all the porn magazines. And so it was such a big bookstore that the guy who worked, he was way at the front door. So he could tell me don't go back there, but he couldn't stop me.
Because you're younger, you're saying, or what?
Because I wouldn't buy anything, I would just go to look at the magazines.
Which everybody did.
He was like, get it from out there if you ain't buying shit.
Another magazine.
Right. I remember when I first.
I love the magazines.
I mean, if you've been around, you saw when it went from like just being able to open it up to where they put like a little piece of tape over it. I was like. Right, and then eventually when they got to like putting it in a complete plastic bag sealed, I was like, okay, well, they're trying to stop me from enjoying this shit.
Well, people, they were
stopping people. Yeah, they were. I mean, listen, I get it. I saw it evolve. I was like, okay, but that was my source. That's where I went to my source. If
you really like the magazine, you'll buy it. But sometimes you buy the magazine, it's closed, you don't know what you're getting. You only want the girl you like in that magazine.
Yeah, and I wouldn't like all of them. I'd find one that I liked, and I put her in my head, and that was it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's all she wrote, and I thought about her. And it's funny because I'm talking about it, you don't even realize in real life you can have it. But in that fantasy world, it's like you can have it, and you can have it the way you want it. You know what I mean?
I mean, not everybody can have it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so I'm saying, in the fantasy-wise, I'm fucking thinking all kind of crazy shit. But in reality, I had girlfriends that I was having sex with, but I wasn't, the porno thing was my thing. It wasn't their thing. You know what I mean? I didn't include them in it. I didn't talk to them about it. It was just something that was in my mind. But I had girlfriends. But porn was just something that I had in my mind. So when I got that LA Express, it was like I was reading and it just happened. I remember I got that, and it may have been free or it may have been a quarter, but it wasn't. It was easily obtained. And I remember first few pages was about the porn industry, and it was talking about AVN, and it said AVN is going to be held this January in Las Vegas. All the porn stars and all the parties. And I was just like, all the porn stars and all the parties. I need to go there. So I knew Vegas wasn't far. I had already been going through like another girlfriend. Her family always went, so they took me. So I was like, I have to go for this porn awards, this AVN thing. And it was also going at the CES. That's when they used to do it together. Mm-hmm. So
Sahara.
Yeah, to Sahara. So a friend of mine, he used to install radios. He had a little shop. So So I had a bunch of, I would always get another car and always put the system in. I was always in the systems. So I had him put it in. He lived across the street from me. We were good friends. And so he was going to go because he wanted to look at the radios that were coming out. He wanted to look at the, you know, the audios.
Consumer electronics show.
Right. He wanted to check out the consumer. He wanted to go for that. So I told him I'd give him gas money if I can go with him because I want to go to the porn thing. And sure as hell, he was like, no problem. We drove out there. As soon as we got there, we went over to get our badges, paid, I don't know what it was. It wasn't that much at that time, 65, 75 bucks, whatever. But I got a pass. He got his badge. It may not even been that much. He got his badge to go look at the radios. I got the badge so I can go to the Sahara. And I literally, we separated. The minute we got there, he went and got his thing. He went and did his thing, and I went straight over to Sahara. And when I got there, one of the first porn stars I saw was Max Hardcore. And he was talking to some girl. And it caught my attention because I remember seeing his hat and seeing him.
But he wasn't really Max Hardcore then. Mm-mm. No, he was just a director.
Yeah.
Right? Paul Little.
Paul Little. Right. But he stood out. He still, you know, he's like one of the, he walks in, you know.
He looks like a pornographer.
He looks like a fucking, right. It's exactly, if you were describing a pornographer, he'd be it. Right. Yeah, he stood out. And I was like, okay. And because he had his little young looking girls with him. And I remember turning the corner.
He had some young girls with him, but they weren't Max Hardcore.
No, they weren't like all Max Hardcore.
So he had already the idea, probably. I guess. Mm-hmm. He probably evolved into Max Hardcore. But, you know.
Yeah. I think as the industry grew, you know.
Yeah, people only know Max Hardcore as Max Hardcore, but Max Hardcore was just a director that was directing movies and producing movies. And he was intelligent. He was a hardworking guy.
Right.
He was just an average Joe that came in the business and got some, got to direct. But he moved on from there to become the alias, aka Notorious Max Hardcore. I like him, but a lot of people don't like him.
Right. He's I was gonna say controversial.
Yeah, he does what he does, and you know you can watch it or not watch it.
Right. Yeah, he shoots a certain type of content for a certain type of customer. Yeah. So he stood out. I saw him. Then as I turned the corner, I'm going up the escalator because I had just really one long escalator to go up into where the adult stuff was at. And as I'm going up the escalator, I'm standing next to Ron Hightower and Heather Lee. And she
had some good pussy.
Heather
By the way.
I love Heather.
She has a good pussy.
I still love Heather. Me and Heather still talk.
You do?
Yeah.
I want to get her on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to her and I talked to Ron.
She in LA?
Nah, she's up north.
Oh.
She's up north. She's chilling.
Cali or?
I think Cali.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a bartender.
Oh. She has some good pussy.
Yeah. She was great. Yeah. She was great. She says to me right off the bat, she just says, "Hey, are you in the business?" I was like, "Nope." She says, "Do you want to be?" I was like, "Yeah." And she turns up, she looks over at Ron, she says, "Why don't you give him a card? He'd be good for movies, wouldn't he?" And he looks down and he says, because they were still going up the escalator, he says, "Yeah."
He's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's pretty tall. He looks down at me and he's like, "Yeah, okay, here's my card. Call me when you get back to LA. I was just like, LA, get back to LA. I was like, it didn't even dawn on me I was in Vegas. I was like so lost in the sauce. I was so lost in this, like, God, there's porn. This is the porn. Because people come in, you know, you go to the conventions now.
Yeah. But, so you really weren't a porn fan, aficionado who watched porn movies, right?
I didn't watch them. I not religiously. I'd seen certain people in the magazines.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I had seen like certain people. So, you know.
So you weren't shell shocked by porn stars just by the fact that some girls were there.
Yeah, I didn't know Heather. I didn't know Ron. I didn't even know them at all. Heather was like, you know, just innocently just asked me and confidently in front of Ron, you know, she could have been, he could have been a dick and be like, yeah. So
he's a nice guy.
Oh yeah. He was like, "Here's my card. call me when you get back to LA. It was like everything they said was like, yes, welcome. And it was crazy because once I got his card, I walked into the convention and started walking around, and then I see Julian St. Jacques, and I had seen him in some magazines, so I was like, oh, that's Julian St. Jacques. And
you knew his name?
I knew him, and I was like, man, I'm a big fan of yours. And he was walking around with Janet Jackme. Oh, and I was like, oh, you know, I was impressed with them. And then I saw Chasey.
Sorry, was Janet Jackme? I mean, for me, she was great. It's sexy, everything. You know what I mean? She looked like. But you were fucking girls, right? Were the girls as hot as Janet Jackme that you were fucking? Hotter, or the same, or lesser? Curious.
I didn't, you know. Nah, they were different. They didn't. Janet to me was, you know. She wouldn't have been like the type of girl that I was like pursuing. You know what I mean? Because Janet is on another level sexually. I mean, she's aggressive. I was actually kind of scared of her.
But she's strong, right?
Yeah. I was like, shit. There's no like shit. You can't conquer this pussy. Pussy's gonna conquer you.
Yeah, she was okay. That's interesting.
Right. So it wasn't, you know, Heather Lee was probably more my type. And like literally Heather came over to me, you know, a few minutes later without Ron, and she handed me her phone number.
Whoa.
And it was on like a little piece of paper. And I remember how we used to give people our phone numbers. We used to write on a little piece of paper and then tear the paper and they fold it up and stick it in your pocket.
Get lost sometimes.
And get lost in the washing machine. Right. Nah, I didn't lose her number.
But sometimes you lose it.
Oh yeah, you lose a number and you're like, oh damn, where is that motherfucker? No, with her, no, I kept it. But yeah, that's how we were doing it, right? Yeah. That's how we were going back and forth. That's how we connected with each other. I write it down, I give it to you.
There was no cell phones, really. I mean,
there was no.
You had to have a lot of money, and they didn't work worth the fuck. So really, you had to catch them on their phone.
Right.
Are they home? Ring.
Right.
Answer machine sometimes. Hey, like call me back on your answer machine.
Right.
By the way, people, yeah.
Right. There was no guarantees. Right. Nah, this is all I'm winging it. So she gives me a number, and that was it. You know, I got back to LA. I think we went back to LA like the next night or whatever.
Were you about ready to tell me you saw Chasey laying there?
Oh yeah. So the last, you know, I turn the corner and I see Vivid's little booth, and Chasey Lane is sitting at the corner of it, and I was like, wow, look at her, because those eyes and the fucking
the hair.
And this is 94, so she was prime.
Some people, Marcy, you know Marcy.
Yeah.
She said she thinks that maybe Chasey was one of the prettiest or the prettiest girl, and probably facial wise.
Right.
What do you think?
For me, she was. I mean, I like when I saw her face, when I saw her eyes, and you know, I was like instantly like, wow, yeah. And you know what? And I think that's probably what. On a side note, I think that's because she had her career went all kind of ways, unfortunately. But maybe because she attracted so much. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just was like.
She did look like a model or something.
Yeah.
She had that look, right? Supermodel look almost. Right. But still the girl next door almost. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of, but a little higher than the girl next door, but. She was photogenic, approachable. She was nice.
Photogenic, and she was explicit. You know what I mean? She was having sex, so you knew this is a pretty girl who has sex.
Right. She's bad.
Right.
She's a bad bitch. You can say that.
Yeah, exactly. And so she caught my attention, and I walked over to her and said hi, whatever. You know, just it's like.
What'd she say?
She was nice. She was always She was always nice.
Always nice.
Yeah.
Did you work with her?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I worked with her like years later, way later, and it wasn't she wasn't the same person, you know, unfortunately. But she wasn't the same person. But that was it. After I seen those groups of people and I saw that, I had his number, I had her number. That was it. The rest was now going to happen once I got back to LA.
But I mean, I have to say came to you kind of easy, you know what I mean? It seems like it dropped right in your lap.
Right.
That's fucking crazy. Right. But please go on. So then you call Heather Lee or you call Ron?
Who did I call first?
Oh, Heather.
I called Heather first.
And you went.
And then Heather was like, come to the house, because she lived in Palms, right off the 405 and 10 freeway. That's a little area right there, Palms. It's before you get to Santa Monica and all that.
Okay.
I think it's Palms. So I went over there to her house, and we just had like marathon sex.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was good.
She had some good pussy.
She had some good pussy.
That pussy was, you had to be careful with it.
Huh?
You had to be careful with the pussy.
When I was young, dude, I was 23 years old then, though.
No, I'm saying that because it'll make you bust.
Oh yeah,
Right.
but she liked the way I performed, because she recommended me for a shoot. You know, she was like, okay, she recommended me for a shoot. Me and Ron had a whole different experience, but me and Heather, we had like this whole sexual thing, and then I got to work with her for Roy Brewington.
Up in San Bernardino.
Yeah, Palm Springs.
Yeah,
right.
He was in San Bernardino, then he went to Palm Springs.
Yeah, he went to Palm Springs. I met him when he went to Palm Springs. So yeah.
Yeah,
I know. So, it was still, to me, it was still in my range.
So that was your first shoot?
Yeah, that was my first shoot.
Because of Heather Lee.
She's
cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking nice, man.
Yeah. I talked to her about a year and a half ago.
Really?
She was going through some shit, and she reached out to me. Somebody was on social media they were acting like they were her, and they weren't. And so, I know.
Pirates, right?
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, but not really.
Right.
Pirates of the fuckers.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, that's cool. So how'd it go, the first shoot?
The trick was, when I got there, I didn't know how this worked.
Yeah.
And so I think when I got there early, and next thing I know, Shawn Michaels shows up. So my first time meeting the legendary Shawn Michaels was on this porn set for Roy Brewington in Palm Springs with Heather Lee. So I was already feeling, I was nervous, but I wasn't like, I didn't know I was ready for whatever was going to happen.
You were.
Yeah.
I mean, you were mentally ready.
Mentally, I was just like, I had been fucking Heather, so I was cool with that. It didn't bother me when Sean was going to be in the scene, because he was an icon. So I figured he'd know how to.
And he's so nice.
Yeah, he's so nice. He's not a dick or an asshole. He doesn't make you feel like shit. He makes you feel, oh, you're new? Okay. Instead of him giving me a hard time, he was like, okay, welcome.
Out of most guys, that would be one of the guys that you could be relaxed next to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was super nice. And he's always been. That's my brother. Yeah. I just saw him a few weeks ago in Vegas, so I love him. We go way back, day one. So
I used to hang out with him back in 1990.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nah, he's still around. He ain't going nowhere. God willing. So the thing with Roy wants us to do photos first, and then he does the video. Mm-hmm. So all the hardcore pictures, you get them out the way, so that you don't have to stop when you're making the movie.
Yeah, I wonder. I was thinking about this the other day, maybe even yesterday. I was thinking, did he put that in magazine because he shot it so nicely? You know what I mean? It was lit perfectly. It wasn't like normal stills. So I think he did a double whammy. He put it in magazines.
Oh yeah.
And in a movie, which is cool with me. I like Roy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But right.
I years later I saw the photo layout of it, and it looks great. Yeah. It looks good. I mean, there you go. We got me, Sean, fucking Heather Lee on the pictures. We did great. So at the end of the pictures, he says, "Hey, do you want to pop?" And I was like, "Sure." He said, and then he's like, we're going to shoot the video a little later. And I was like, "Sure." So I gave him a pop. Sean didn't pop. I popped all over, and it was taking all the pictures. He's loving it. So then he was like, "Okay, good job." And everybody was all like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." I said, "I got this." And then he goes over, and then about 40 minutes later, he says, "Okay, we're getting the videos. We'll be ready for you guys." Same thing, but this time we're going to do video. So he starts filming it, and we're doing all the, we did the pretty girls, did the box cover. So I'm sitting there getting ready to do the scene, and I can't get a hard on. Can't get it. It's like a noodle. It's like whatever.
But behind closed doors, would you have been fine?
Yeah, because I had been me and her had been fucking.
So popping once, twice is no problem.
No,
Okay.
no, I wasn't tripping. I was, but I don't know. I think 'cause I'd already fucking popped, and now the pressure of the camera. It was like shit. It was like and it was like and nothing.
You sweating a little bit.
Oh yeah. They was like it would get, you know how they turn off the lights to save energy and to save all that shit. They did all that for me. That was my first shoot. I was sitting in a room with remember Kim Chambers?
Yeah.
Kim Chambers.
I think Kim Chambers told me one time she's related. Joe Pesci's her uncle.
Really?
Yeah. I'm almost sure. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Pesky, you know, shit.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Kim Chambers was a blonde,
Yeah.
a little bit thick.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and about 5'4".
Yeah, she was short. Yeah.
And she used to be hanging out with Bill Margo, staying at his place.
Really?
About 94, 95, 96.
Right.
I mean, I don't think they were fucking. He was just helping her out.
Right. Yeah, nah, she was cool. She was real cool. She was trying to give me. She was in the back giving me head, trying to get me going. And I, you know, when you noodle dick, you kind of like it's just whatever. So I got like a little bit of a chubby, and then I came.
Oh, what? Oh, no.
I know, right?
No, you don't want that. That's worse.
Oh, it was worse because Kim was like, well, she had to go break the news to everybody on the set. Like it was like, it ain't happening.
Oh, that's fucked up, man. See, you know, here's one thing we want to say that the people wonder, but we know that I believe that the girls of yesterday are fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
They wanted to have sex.
Yeah.
They weren't tripping. Today that wouldn't be happening, right?
Right.
For how much, right? Right? Yes or no?
Right.
Anyway.
Right. Nah, you the girls are different now. There's.
We're not putting every girl down, but we're saying that in our time, the girls were super down and super nice.
Yeah.
I thought.
Right. Yeah, no, she was cool. She went above and beyond her duty. She didn't have to do none of that shit.
So then she breaks the news.
Yeah, she breaks the news to everybody that, hey, it ain't happening.
What did Dre say?
Dre was cool. Dre was like,
I'll fuck her myself.
Yeah, right.
This is a good pussy.
I was sitting you know, they brought me in for like the first 2 minutes to establish me because they had all these photos. And then they see me like just kind of walk out of like I look and I see them doing it and I just walk out. So I took a zero on that one.
No money?
I think he paid me maybe not even $100, maybe. Yeah.
So what did that do to your psychology? What did you feel like, you know, on the way home? What did Heather Lee say to you? What happened?
You know, I felt like shit. Because it was a long. Luckily, I didn't have that far to go. Because I was going from Palm Springs is pretty far out there, but Palm Springs to Pomona, right? It wasn't that bad. And I guess I was contemplating if I was ever going to do it again. That's all I could think of was like, am I going to do this again? Because I couldn't wait to talk to Heather later and see what she thought. But I was just like I had this long drive of just contemplating like, what happened? Damn, I can't believe this happened to me. Jesus, what is going on? I want to do this so bad, and I can't do it.
You beat yourself up?
Oh yeah. And then
Did you think like, oh my God, I lost my chance? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, because this might be a whole new world life, right?
Yeah.
Did you think that a little bit?
Yeah. I didn't know. I thought they're never gonna call me again. I can't do it. I was like, what's wrong? I'm 23 years old. I know I can do it. I've been doing it. I thought I was doing it. I didn't know. I did not know. I had it all in my head that was it. And then maybe a day later or 2 days later, Ron calls me back.
Really?
Yeah. And then Ron says, hey, you want to come on down and, give it a shot? And I was just like...
Did Heather Lee tell Ron anything or no?
Nah.
Otherwise he would have called you.
Yeah. She never said anything to him. I don't know what... I never knew what their conversation was about.
But it must have not been. She must have had your back.
Right. Yeah, because she had my back. She had my back then, and she had my back. Ron called me, and then at the time I had a girlfriend. And I asked Ron was like, well, if you got somebody that you want to do it with, it'd probably be better. So I was like, so I asked the girl that was my girlfriend. I said, yeah, you want to do this with me? And she was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm do it. So I went, got to Ron's house.
Was she hot?
Oh yeah.
Hot?
Oh yeah.
She's hot.
Oh yeah. She's hot. She was
hot?
Oh yeah, real hot. She was fine. Ron was like down. He was like, yeah, all right, cool.
Oh yeah.
he was like,
Can I jump
in? Right. But he wasn't that way because he could have been.
Right.
But he was like,
yeah, by the book.
Yeah. And then when we got to the house, he was already shooting the scene. So he told us to go wait in his room, his weight room he had. So me and her was sitting in the weight room listening. I was all listening. And then the girl, she just got cold feet. She was like, I can't do it. Oh. And I was like, you sure? She was like, I can't. I don't want to do it. Oh. And to Ron's credit, when we walked out of that room, and I said, Ron, I gotta tell you, she doesn't want to do it. He was like, that's fine. No problem. I understand. Oh. And I was like, because now, guys would have been like, pressuring her, saying, hey, we'll pay you more money or whatever. They'll do whatever, bend over backwards to make it happen.
This girl, Spanish girl, white girl?
She's a white girl. So Ron was just like, that's cool. And he just let us off the hook, no strings attached, made her comfortable, made me was like, wow. So we left. I felt like, damn, strike two. I was like, man, this is not going to happen. I wanted this to happen so bad. The
porn gods were testing your spirit.
They were like saying, you don't want this. You don't want this. Right. How bad do you want this?
Nobody tells you these stories either. People don't tell you, I don't think, Marcus, that if you just hang in there a little longer, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't.
Because you don't know what you can do.
Right.
It's a weird thing, right?
Right.
But go ahead.
Yeah. No, you don't know. You don't know what's possible. You don't know. You're just right. You're just, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I knew I had two opportunities, and they both were like less than stellar. It was like,
heart's hurting right now.
Right. I was like, okay, well, so we drove back to. By this time it was Upland. I went from Pomona to Upland. I had my dad lived in Pomona, my girlfriend lived in Upland, so I'd go back and forth. But I go back to Upland with her, and then I think a day later Ron calls me up again, and he says, I got this girl. She's coming in. Her name was I think you'll like her. So you want to do it? And I was like, hell yeah.
What's her name?
Eva Flowers. You remember her?
Oh, yeah, but that was 1994?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was 94.
I mean, that's a dark brown-haired girl?
Yeah.
About 5'6"?
Yeah.
Slim, but wet and almost squirting all the time?
Yeah.
Great girl.
Yeah. She I didn't even know what I agreed to it. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know anything. I just was like, yes, I'll be there.
And she looks a little Spanish, your style.
Yeah. No, she was, so when I get to the house, I get to Ron's house. Ron's like, she'll be here in a minute. And when she comes up into the house, into the apartment, and then her boyfriend is like, puts down her bag and gives her a little kiss goodbye. And then she was like, hey. And she comes over to meet me, and I was just like,
fucking, she's pretty.
Oh yeah. I was like, everything was just like this came, all the stars were aligned. Our scene was fire. It was phenomenal. Fucking Ron was like clapping at the end of it. He was like, so when's your next available date and shit? Yeah, and then it just took off. It just took off from there. Heather called me up, got me a shoot with Anabolic, and we just did our thing. And Anabolic was a real laid back, just a director and a camera person. That was it. So
this is 94.
This is 94. So everything just started going.
I mean, Eva Flowers and Heather Lee. Mm-hmm. That's lucky, a little bit, to get that beautiful quality.
Right.
I mean, it seems to me like the porn gods were recruiting you. You know what I mean? It seems like it.
You know what? You remember Randy Detroit?
Well, I never met Randy Detroit, but I can tell you this. I love those girls he was getting.
I know you do.
I was like, I want to be in here.
See, we could have switched places because Randy tried to get me to do those. Like when I first got to LA Express, they in the back they would always be advertising like, hey, you know.
He was in LA?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, he was here.
I would have been there.
You would have been there. I know your ass would have.
And I would have did it. You know, of course, I know the shit price. I was getting paid good money in those days, but I would have been there.
Yeah, you would have been
price.
there.
For the low price.
Right, I never thought about that till you said that right now. But yeah, you definitely would have been happy with.
Like, hey, this is a piece of cake. Watch. Right? I would have been like. I saw some. I was jacking out to it. Go, damn. That's right. That was fucking 93, 94.
Yeah. That was 93. I saw some
of his movies.
Right.
Yeah, I was jacking out to one of his movies through Kevin Beach, because Kevin Beach was the distributor. Remember, Kevin Beach? Mm-hmm. And I was in his warehouse and I grabbed some of these because it's hard to find black movies, right? And of course, the quality of the movies were garbage, but that didn't bother me. Yeah. Right? I just wanted to see the girls, and I was like, I was at home. Christmas morning, jacking off to those girls.
That's so crazy right now, cause fuck, dude. I didn't want to do those girls. I was like, no. No? Randy had like real hood chicks, man. Like this was like old hoes, like real old hoes. And I was 23. I was like, no, man, no. I was like, cause I showed up, I called him first. I got his phone number because he'd always advertise in the back of LA Express. And one day I'm reading and it says black men wanted for X-rated films. And I was like, yes, that's me. You know what I mean? I was working trying to figure this out.
So that is before?
That was before. That was like, because LA Express. So I picked it up and I saw that ad.
Before Vegas?
Yeah, before I saw that ad for the next issue, which one was about the Vegas thing. So I called Randy.
93, you're saying?
Yeah, this was in 93. So I called Randy, and Randy was like, come out to us, come to the hotel. And we kept going back and forth. It was through the pagers, right? So he called me back. I gave me the information. When I got a little test and everything, I show up to the set, the hotel, and I'm listening to the door because I'm trying to, he gave me the room. I'm trying to see what's going on.
Is he a black guy, Randy Detroit?
Randy's white guy.
White guy? Okay.
White guy. So when he lets me in, it was this girl, big old girl. She was just too big for me. She was heavy. Super heavy. She took up half the bed, you know what I mean? And she's sucking this guy's dick. And I walk in, and I'm like, I'm not seeing any other girls. And I'm thinking, and all I could think of was he's gonna make me fuck this girl, and she's sucking his dick? Oh no. And I felt claustrophobic because the room was small and this girl was big, and I was just like, no. I left my ID in the car. And he was like, oh yeah, go get it. We're almost done here. And when you come back, and just jump right in. I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I went downstairs, got in my car, and I drove off, man. And he calls me, he's paging me. It was like, and I call him back. He says, what happened? He says, I had cold feet, got nervous. He was like, okay, well, I got another shoot coming up next week. If you want to do it, it's an orgy. And I was like, I thought, okay, well, orgy. Okay, maybe the chances of having a pretty girl are better. So I was like, all right, yeah, no problem. So the next week, I head back out. I get to he's at an apartment this time. And I get there, and as soon as I walk in, all those girls you like, all the hood, it was about 4 of them. And when they saw me, they were like, oh, shit. I'm getting him. Oh, I can't wait to get him. I was like, oh, shit. They're all grabbing on me, like grabbing. I was like, oh, no. I was like, wait. Hold on. Randy's like, yeah, we'll be ready in about 12. I was like, oh, Randy, hold on. Let me talk to you real quick, Randy. And took him outside. I said, listen, man, I don't have much time.
Oh, man. That's fucked up.
Oh, dude.
What are you doing to your sisters, man?
I love my sisters, man. But these sisters.
Well, it's not.
They were
not groomed up.
Nah, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. Was not there. It was not there.
But I would have had fun, huh?
You would have tore the motherfuckers up.
Why didn't he call me? I was way out of a different league, but yeah. Fuck.
I wish I would have known you. I wish I would have said, hey, you gotta go meet this guy, Randy, man. He's got the best girls.
The guy had to know about me, but of course I'm white, right? So he's using black guys.
Yeah. That's you know, it was just lower quality. And I guess because Randy don't know. You know, Randy's taking whatever girl walks through the door. You know what I mean? Whoever's trying to, he wasn't paying much.
Yeah, how much?
I think I used to make $75. Yeah. 75, 100. I remember when I got $200. I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. You know, I was following my dream. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I didn't realize the disparity.
I mean, in one mentality, it doesn't really matter if you're following your dream. Right? It's not about money. It's just about the dream.
Right.
You know, the purist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, a Puritan. You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to call it. For me,
Purist.
the money maybe means something later when there's girls who maybe you don't want to work with.
Right.
But in the beginning, it's a whole different world, I think. You know?
Yeah. Now you're not even thinking about the money. I mean, I remember $75 was no different than $150.
Yeah.
It was just like extra money for something that I was really psyched on doing, you know. Yeah. I was set on doing.
So then you ran?
Yeah, I ran from Randy twice.
Oh.
And you know what? And listen, because I didn't grow up with those. I didn't grow up with that shit. That's not what I saw when I looked in the porn magazines. That wasn't the vision. They didn't fit the vision. And Eva Flowers, when she showed up, she fit the vision.
She was hot. I mean, when I say hot,
right.
I mean, she was horny as fuck.
And she was just...
And beautiful.
Man, it was great. It was so great. It was ideal because Ron was cool. Yeah. I didn't feel no tension from him. The boyfriend had gave his okay because he left her there. And so I was able to like express myself fully, you know, through her, and she was with it.
She was great.
She was great.
Great. No, I mean, let's face it, I fucked a lot of girls.
Right.
Lots of girls, right? But when I remember a girl being great, it was a big deal.
Yes. Yeah. She had a good attitude. You know,
nice face,
beautiful. Yeah, she was.
Pussy.
I seen her like maybe years later on a talk show.
Right.
Yeah, it was like Sally Jesse Raphael or something like that.
Was she cool or was she?
Nah, she was complaining about something, but she still, still was looking good.
I'm pretty sure she told me on a set one time that she had just got back from fucking with Charlie Sheen.
Oh, really?
I said that he was cool as hell, and all the good things you can imagine.
Yeah.
But he put it down too.
Right.
I talked to Ginger Lynn.
Right.
She said Charlie Sheen put it down.
Right.
This is not fucking around.
No, Charlie don't fuck around.
You know?
No.
Meet him?
I didn't test him.
So anyway, that's pretty good. It seems like
you met him?
No, I never met him.
Yeah? Because you guys are similar.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. I'm not.
Different life.
Yeah, he's Cuban. I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
He's Cuban, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he's Spanish, but yeah.
Well, whatever. But, the father's Cuban from Cuba.
Right.
So, whatever,
yeah.
But,
Emilio Estevez. Yeah.
So that's your second scene. That's cool. You got it beautiful. So now you kind of got confidence. You're moving along.
Yeah, I'm feeling, with Ron, yeah.
So he gives you another scene?
Yeah.
Another scene?
Yeah.
And so when did you make your way, or how did you make your way to the gym? Did you were with Jim or not?
I wasn't.
Really?
Yeah. And when I started, I was like, I was doing it on my own. And then I think eventually I met Reb from Pretty Girl International,
really?
PGI. I had his card forever, a little blue card and shit, Pretty Girl International.
Wow.
Yeah, I met him and his wife, I think, at the time. Yeah. And I think his son, or Shylar. No, not Shylar. Skylar. No, Skylar. What's Skylar's wife?
I wasn't part of that crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I met Reb, and Reb was more family oriented. All his family was in the building. He had an office on I want to say Santa Monica Boulevard, and about 2 blocks west of Highland, they had like a little office there, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah. So I used to always go to him, and I don't know how I ended up with him. Maybe I was recommended to him or something. But I remember I had maybe 1 or 2 shoots with him, and then I ended up meeting Jim through somebody else. And I remember, Jim wanted me, but I was with Reb. And I remember Jim calling Reb or something to get me off of, to claim me, to say I'm with Role Modeling. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know, I didn't understand the politics of that shit, but then I realized that they were, but Jim had more people, more access. Jim was a little bit more, I could sit down and talk to Jim. Reb would just try to kind of talk crazy shit all the time.
Like what?
He just wasn't, me and him, we didn't have the rapport that me and Jim have. I didn't have, but I did, when I had my daughter, like years later, when my daughter was born, like maybe 2 years later, my daughter was like, about 3 or 4 years later, my daughter was like 3 or 4 years old. Reb's wife would babysit my daughter for me while I go knock out scenes and shit. Years later, years.
Trip?
Yeah.
Reb just passed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So I got to reach out to Skylar. Okay, Skylar.
I think they had some memorial for him maybe last week or something. I think somebody told me, but I wasn't part of it. Matter of fact, I always had Jim's back, and you know how I am, So if I got Jim's back, and you're the enemy, then you're my enemy. You know what I mean?
Right. And, they actually had more love. They weren't enemies like that. They were competitive, but.
Did you finish the rest of that interview with Jim? You said you got 20 minutes left?
What do you mean?
Jim South's interview?
Yeah.
So,
I got 20 minutes left in there.
Somebody came to Jim's house.
Yeah, well, no, I heard the part about him breaking his arms. Yeah. That was Reb? I didn't even think about Reb. I didn't even think like that because...
I don't know, but the feeling is yes. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I never even thought of it that way.
So that's serious stuff because almost hit his head, and that would have been dead.
Right.
It would have been dead.
Right.
And they came back twice.
Yeah.
And Jethro saved him.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's the big motherfucker, Jethro.
Right.
From the Beverly Hillbillies.
Right.
Did you see him in Jim's office sometimes?
I don't remember.
That's something. You know who his father was, right?
No.
You know the Beverly Hillbillies, Jethro?
Yeah.
His father was Max Bayer, Sr. You know who Max Bayer was?
The pharmaceuticals, right, or something?
The heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh, okay.
Who killed 2 people in the ring.
Oh, wow.
Because he had such a strong right hand. He killed them. And he would fuck people up. He was dangerous. So Jethro was already 6'4", 260, 270. And he was pretty, strong dude.
Wow. Nah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
He was Jim's protection?
No.
Or security? Just there?
I think Jethro liked the girls. Everybody likes the girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think he would come by and hang out with Jim.
Yeah.
And so he just happened to drive. He dropped Jim off in his car or something like that, and I guess he drove by. Jim was still in a cast, his arms, I think. And this was at his office. This wasn't at his house. Now this is at his office. Yeah. Van Nuys Boulevard, and he saw somebody coming near Jim, so I guess he pulled in or something like that. And helped out. Just in time.
Right.
Because if you got your arms broken, they're coming back.
Nah, Jim's not no fighter, dude. He doesn't.
No, but your arms are broken. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck.
Yeah.
That's serious.
No, I didn't know that until I was listening to your show, so I was like... Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, so you go with Jim?
Yeah. I went with Jim because I don't know. Honestly, I feel like Jim had room for improvement. Reb was like rebellious and didn't give a fuck, and he didn't run business the way that Jim did. So I feel like I could do more with Jim than Reb.
So you kind of made an educated decision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because the way Jim thought about things, I felt like he needed to me, I think he needed to evolve. I wanted him to include, think bigger, think broader. Think,
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously he made the right decision because I don't think Red did that much business, and Jim had 99% or 95% of everything.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone when they had to do like a group meeting, they would all go to Jim's office. I mean, everybody would go to his spot.